Hello guys and gals, welcome to Wigan Pier. Sorry, you might have to be a certain age and from the north of England to get that joke. Anyway, here we are. We're talking about groove again, this time in the form of bass lines. And I have a question for you. Are there only two rhythms? No, there's loads. But I do have a couple of very simple concepts that I hope will help you understand rhythm much better from today. Have you ever seen or heard of this word before? Syncopation. Sounds scary, doesn't it? And look at this definition. The displacement of regular accents associated with given metrical patterns, resulting in a disruption of the listener's expectations and the arousal of a desire for the re-establishment of metric normality. Oh my words. Well, goodbye, that's all for today. I hope that cleared it up for you. What's that? Oh, you don't understand? Okay. Have a look and listen to this bass line. This is not syncopated. And if I just do this, now it's syncopated. Us musos sometimes refer to this as in the cracks. In other words, offbeat, not on beat. And specifically in regards to dance music, where we typically work in a grid of 16, this would refer to notes not on the 8th grid, but in between. Referring back to our bass line here, this is what we'd call an 8th note bass line, because it's playing a note on every 8th of the bar. Let me mute the kick so you can hear what the bass is doing. So this is 8th notes. A good recent example would be Eli Brown's remix of Dom Dollar, San Fran Disco. Here's 16th notes. Think Camel Fat Breathe or Eric Prydz opus. Very common in trance style tracks. Both very good examples of non-syncopated rhythms. But if we go back to our 8th note example here and syncopate all the notes, this is entirely syncopated. In fact, if we drop the BPM a touch, this kind of style was very prevalent from the kind of house music that was coming out of Russia over the past few years. From artists like Rompasso and Jericho. And as you can imagine, it's not a all or nothing philosophy. It's a sliding scale like all rhythm, so you might hear phrases such as that's a heavily syncopated bass line. It doesn't mean literally every note contained is syncopated. You'll usually find a mixture of stuff on beat, stuff in between the beats. And on that note, pun definitely intended, I want to show you a great simple trick for trying different rhythms. Now, what I was referring to at the beginning, asking are there only two rhythms, was not just syncopated or not syncopated. It's if you break it down, when you're playing with syncopation, you could argue all rhythms are either from pairs of 2s or 3s. Now let me show you what I mean. So our bass line here is playing every 2/16. If we make a line that plays every 3/16, it sounds like this. Again, a trick you'll find in many a camel fat track. Now, if we limit ourselves to a 1-bar loop, which is quite common, we could play with mixing up these two types of spacing to create some really cool bass lines. So, are there only 2 rhythms? Of course, not overall, but as you can see, with just those 2 simple concepts, we can create some really cool rhythms and grooves. Anyways, I really hope this helped some of you, be it thinking in terms of 2s and 3s, or understanding syncopation. And of course, understanding your arousal of the desire for the re-establishment of metric normality. I know that one for me personally is a lifelong struggle. So as always, leave me a like, or even better, a sub. Or if it didn't help you and you didn't understand, please leave a comment below so I know what to do better for next time. Speaking of next time, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.